Guerrilla Games zit in Amsterdam, waar ze al meer dan 6 jaar bezig zijn aan hun nieuwe game Horizon Zero Dawn. Meer dan 300 man werkt nu hard om de game af te krijgen voor de release op 1 maart. Hiervoor maakte de studio jarenlang de shooter-reeks Killzone. Maar daar waren ze wel eens helemaal klaar mee. En zo begonnen ze vanaf nul aan deze open wereld-RPG.
Vast reaches of wilderness. Untamed. A rugged domain.
I love open world games because of the quality of immersion that I feel when I play a really good open world game. I just feel like I can get lost in the exploration and the sense of scope. It is the broadest possible canvas that you can have to tell a story.
We started out with, of course, making things like the story changed over time and maybe what exactly the robots would look like changed over time, but the whole base concept of having a sort of post-apocalyptic world where humanity had sort of slid down to tribal levels while a new different type of life form had sort of taken over. That basically was the basis at the very beginning already.
There was a world, and that world was something that I found incredibly exciting and that I wanted to explore. So from the moment that they first reached out to me, the concept was already there. This very kind of strange combination of lush nature, huge mechanical beasts, and people living in scattered tribes. People who didn't understand the technology of the machines all around them. And I thought, well, that's really curious. How is it that you end up having a world like that?
You won't know where to turn or who to trust.
In a Killzone game or most first-person shooters or most single-player action-adventure games, as designers, basically, you try to control the player's heartbeat, emotions, state of mind, almost every single second of the game. When you're doing something like an open-world game, basically, you have literally none of that control. The player can do this from any point of time, from multiple different locations. Basically, they can come at it, they can have done other things before, they can come there with different weapons than you ever envisioned, or different armor types, for example. So you can't really design it the way basically that you would do in a single player game. You need to start basically thinking about these things much more systemically.
There might be some machines roaming around that are more dangerous that you can see from a distance. So it's been sort of a careful balance, like how dangerous do we want to make the world to be, how much initiative should the player take, and then at the same point also making these things feel like they're living things and they're part of the world and they're actually there, they belong in this world. That's why we gave them the animalistic behaviors as well.
All the combat basically works in a 3-stage loop. So the first stage is always about preparing. So you have to craft your animal, your weapons, your traps. You have to find a good position. You have to basically scan the robots for a little while, and then you do the engagement phase, basically where you fire everything that you have. You let your traps go off, but it's very rare, basically, that on your first go, basically, you can do all the damage that you need to do. So there's always a retreat phase, basically, which is built into the whole gameplay system. So it's usually basically go back into cover, going back into hiding, and that's the main loop. To be a good hunter, you can't just specialize in one thing. You have to sort of basically make sure that all your bases are well covered.
If you want to survive, you have to make the kill.
Even the things that seem particularly strange, like why is it there's stuff that looks kind of like a dinosaur and stuff that looks like maybe like, you know, like a deer or something like that, there was thought given to that. We really wanted to focus on this character. We wanted to create a genuine hybrid of an action-adventure role-playing game, something that combined a lot of the pleasures of character-based cinematic storytelling from action adventures with elements of role-playing like interactive dialogue and depth of lore. We wanted to make sure that every single step of the story that we're telling is something that's memorable enough that even when you go off, you get distracted by some kind of side quest or some kind of activity, or there's some ruin that you see you want to just go and explore, it's not something you've forgotten. It's something that still is memorable enough and kind of enough on your mind that you can just pick it right back up.
De verwachtingen liggen hoog voor deze titel van Hollandse bodem, maar of de game uiteindelijk memorabel genoeg is om een klassieker te worden, Dat kunnen we zien op 1 maart als de game uitkomt op de PlayStation 4 consoles.
Can you bring to light the deep secrets of the earth?